The sealed book of Mormon, chapter 83. And now it hath always been the plan of Lucifer to take the eternal truths and laws that he learned as a spirit child in the kingdom of the Father, and make them a part of his eternal plan. Nevertheless, only those truths and laws that satisfieth his needs and desires doth he introduce into his plan for happiness. And because of this, it is a hard thing for a man to distinguish between the plan of Lucifer and the plan of the Father. For a mortal man hath forgotten the plan of the Father, and therefore knoweth not the eternal laws and truths that the Father gave unto his children as spirits in his kingdom. But Satan hath not forgotten any of the promises made by the Father, nor hath he forgotten the eternal plan of the Father which he rebelled against in the beginning. And there are many parts of the plan of the Father which are taught by Lucifer and used to bring the joy and happiness that all of our souls desire. And because of the many truths of the Father that he useth in his plan, many times a man can be deceived into thinking that the plan and course of life that the devil hath laid out for us is a righteous plan of God. And because the plan of Lucifer provideth much of the temporary happiness in the flesh for the children of men, they begin to believe that it is a righteous plan because of the goodness that they perceive in their hearts, which they believe cometh from the course of life that they live according to the plan of Lucifer, which they are deceived into believing is righteousness before God. Now, I have already explained unto you that the plan of Lucifer provideth blessings of happiness to those who follow his plan. Nevertheless, there are great differences between the plan of Lucifer and the plan of the Father. And I have explained unto you one of these differences, even that the joy and happiness that ye receive from following the plan of Lucifer is a temporary joy that doth not last forever, but endeth as soon as the experience of the blessing is complete. And as an example of this thing, the Lord made an attempt to teach this unto the people when he said to them, Lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and rust doth corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal, but lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust doth corrupt, and where thieves do not break through nor steal. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. And now, when ye receive the treasures of the earth, which are those things with which Satan doth bless you for following his plan, do they not bring immediate joy to your heart when ye receive them? But after ye have received them for a while, doth the same joy exist in your heart that existed in the beginning when ye received these things? And when they begin to rust, or when moths eat them, or when thieves steal them, do you not feel miserable and have a great cause to mourn and be unhappy because of the effect that your loss hath upon your soul? Now, this is what is meant by the temporary joy and happiness that ye receive from these things, for it is a feeling of joy that doth not last. And this same joy hath the power to cause you misery after the initial joy hath ended. And it shall come to pass in the latter days that all the people of the whole earth shall begin to search after its treasures, and the desires of all the children of men shall be set upon their money, and the things that they can purchase with their money. And the elect shall see that this is the case, and they shall see the great cause of misery and unhappiness that cometh from the treasures of the earth and the pursuit of them. And they shall witness the rich and the powerful among them, who would pretend to present themselves as happy because they possess great riches and power. Yet ye shall see that they are not happy, for they shall give their lives to eating and drinking and making themselves merry in any way possible to assuage the misery that cometh from their riches. And there shall be many poor upon the earth, who also follow the plan of Lucifer, and these shall covet and envy that which the rich hath received from Satan, believing that if they are rich, then they shall be happy like unto the rich and powerful, who they believe are happy because of their riches, which appear before men in public to bring happiness unto them. But when they are alone in their great houses, surrounded by the many fine and precious things that their money hath provided for them, they shall be in misery alone, for they are away from the eye of the public, which would see them in the miserable state that they have caused for themselves because of their riches, and because of the knowledge of the laws of heaven that Satan shall be allowed to introduce among the children of men in the last days. Many of the children of men shall be inspired to invent the medicines that these rich can purchase, which shall give unto them the continued happiness that they do not receive from their riches, or a reprieve from the misery that they shall long for because of them. And not only the rich shall be miserable and in need of the stimulants that Satan shall provide for them, but also the poor, who envy and covet the rich. Yea, these shall also be miserable in that which they desire. And these also shall need the drugs and the antidepressants and the other stimulants that Satan shall inspire the children of men to create, to give them a temporary joy or a temporary reprieve from the misery that they shall feel. And now, my brothers and sisters, how can ye say that the plan which ye follow in the latter days is the plan of God, when the things which ye believe are the blessings of God cause you such heartache and misery? How can ye say that ye are a righteous people who live in a righteous nation under God, when there existeth no lasting happiness among you? Yea, do ye not see the abuse among you of these stimulants that shall be prevalent in the latter days? And it shall come to pass that this church of which I have spoken, that which shall carry forth the unsealed portion of this record into the world, shall command its people to not partake of the alcohol and the wine and other of the stimulants that shall be produced from the natural course of nature. Yet they shall condone the use of the stimulants that their doctors shall prescribe for them, which are made from the knowledge of science and medicine that Satan hath given unto them in the latter days. And they shall judge and condemn those that take natural drugs and that drink wine and that take into their bodies those things which they have been taught by their leaders are not permitted by their church. But it shall come to pass that they shall consume more of the medicines made by the hands of men than any other people upon the earth. Now, what say ye of this church, which thinketh that it is the only church of God upon the earth? What say ye of the course which ye of this church shall follow to obtain your happiness? Do ye not know that ye are indeed following the plan of Lucifer, even more so than the rest of the people of the earth? And how do ye think that ye can justify the stimulants and the drugs that your doctors prescribe for you? Yet ye judge and ridicule those who take substances of the earth, that do the same thing to the body, that do those things which have been prescribed by your doctors, in whom ye trust, as a remedy for their misery. O ye hypocrites, my soul is burdened greatly because of you, for ye have the record of my Father, and have been given much more knowledge and testimony of the plan of the Father than the rest of your brothers and sisters who are upon the earth in the latter days. Yet ye are worse than they. Woe, woe unto you who are not pure in heart, but are hypocrites, even those of you who consider yourselves righteous before God, but are filthy still. Behold, if ye do not see the error of your ways, and refrain from the judgment of others, then it shall be measured unto you that which ye measure to another. And in the latter days ye shall be stricken in your health, and ye shall become fat with excess, and ye shall groan within yourselves because of your depression, and your loneliness, and your lack of righteousness. And your leaders shall grow old and age in the progression of their wickedness, for they are the examples of wickedness that ye have chosen for yourselves. And ye have been given a promise by the Lord through the prophet Joseph, that if ye obey his laws of health, then ye shall receive health in your navels and marrow to your bones. And ye shall find wisdom and great treasures of knowledge, even hidden treasures. And ye shall run and not be weary, and ye shall walk and not faint. And now look at the leaders who have set the example for you. Do they run and not weary? Do they walk and not faint? Do they give unto you any treasures of knowledge that ye do not already have among you, which have not come from them, but from the corrupted doctrines and principles of Joseph, that they have changed and doctored and presented unto you as the truth? And are not many of them old men who speak only as they need to speak, according to the desires and guidelines of the church? Behold, do they not lose their capacity to think and function without the aid of the doctors in whom they have put their trust? And when they are old, are they not kept alive by the miracles that Satan hath introduced into the world to save your lives, so that ye might continue to live according to his plan in the flesh, when you could have had faith in the Lord, and died, and entered into the rest and peace that the Lord hath promised unto those who live by the words of Christ, and keep the commandments of the Father? But I say unto you, that it is better for you that ye are kept alive by the means of Satan, because it might give unto you more of a chance to see the error of your ways, and repent of the hypocrisy and wickedness that shall condemn you before the Lord. For behold, if ye were to die, ye would die in your wickedness and your deception, and ye shall be received back into the spirit world in a state of misery and hell, which ye shall not be able to assuage by the means of your doctors and your prescribed medicines, which only affect the flesh and do nothing to relieve the pain and misery of your souls. Behold, ye seek more for the things of the world and the honours of men than any other people upon the earth. Yea, your hearts and desires are set upon these things, in the like manner as were the leaders of the Jews who were at Jerusalem, when the Lord sent his prophets unto them in the days of my father Lehi. And ye have this record in your church, which giveth unto you more of a responsibility to live by the word of God, and keep the commandments of Christ, which he hath given unto you by the 2 testimonies, which ye shall carry forth to the world in your pride. And it shall come to pass that the Lord shall allow the translation of the first part of the record of my Father to fall into the hands of wicked men, who shall have it in their hearts to destroy the work of the Lord, if he would allow them to do so. And it shall come to pass that Joseph shall give the manuscript on which he hath translated the first part of the abridgment which my father hath written upon these plates to his scribe, who shall be deceived by wicked men, who shall steal the manuscript, so that they might prove to the world that Joseph cannot translate the first part of this record again. And this they shall believe, because Joseph was laid under a strict commandment that he should not show unto any man the plates upon which these things are written. Now neither my father nor I knew of the will of the Lord concerning these things, when my father Mormon included the small plates of Nephi with the remainder of the abridgment that he made of the records of the Nephites. But I have the words of the brother of Jared, which give an accounting of all things that have happened, and all those things which shall happen unto the ends of the earth. And I read his words concerning the things that shall transpire concerning this record in the latter days. And I know that it was the will of the Lord that the wicked desires of these men in stealing this first manuscript from Joseph come to pass, that the Lord might hide from you of the latter days many of the words of my father which he wrote pertaining to the state of wickedness in which the Jews found themselves at Jerusalem. For the church of God at Jerusalem at the time of Lehi shall be in the same state of wickedness as the church of God, as the Gentiles suppose, which shall be established in the great city of Salt Lake in the latter days. And if ye of this church of the latter days would have had the first part of the translation of the record of my father, then ye would have known that which ye should not become, having a witness of these things before you. But this great leader that shall be led by a flaxen cord by Satan, who shall be known among you as Brigham, he shall not know these things, and shall establish the foundations of the church that Satan desireth to establish among you in the latter days. Behold, it shall come to pass that when the final of the two of these latter-day prophets shall receive the plates upon which is written this record, even that he may fulfill the will of the Lord concerning these things which are sealed, yea, when he shall receive these plates, he shall be commanded to give unto you once again a translation of the first part of these plates, which translation shall be lost by Joseph to the hands of wicked men. And it shall come to pass that these wicked men shall preserve that which they shall steal from Joseph, and guard it up, and pass it from one generation to another, so that they might have a means whereby they might destroy the testimony of those who shall receive these things in the latter days. For these men shall not believe that there are plates of gold which have these things written upon them, and they shall believe that Joseph made up the translation of these plates, and the proof that they shall present to the world is in the manuscript that was translated, which they have guarded and kept among them. For they shall believe that if Joseph were to retranslate the first part of these plates, that the translation would not be the same, and therefore they could prove to the world that he is a false prophet who has set out to deceive the world. And now the Lord could command Joseph to retranslate the first part of these plates through the Urim and Thummim, and his translation would be the same, except be for errors that are caused because of the weakness of men in the writing of their own language. And if these wicked men would change or doctor the words of the original translation in any form, it would be made known unto any who observed the manuscript, because of the difference in the writing and the words of the scribe who wrote the original words that he received from Joseph as he translated them with the Urim and Thummim. Nevertheless, the Lord shall command that these things shall not be given at that time, for the reason that I have explained unto you. Behold, This thing shall also be a witness against those wicked men and their children who shall receive these things from their fathers, who have the original manuscript, which was written by the scribe of Joseph at the time he began the translation of these things. Behold, ye have the manuscript before you, and now I say unto you, bring it forth unto the world, so that it might be examined and verified by the means of science that ye shall have in those days. For by the means of your science ye shall know that it was indeed written by the hand of the scribe of Joseph in his day. And it shall come to pass that ye shall have the translation of these same things given unto you by Christopher, having been commanded by the Lord to bring these things forth again unto the world, along with the translation that he shall make of the portion of this record which shall be sealed. Yea, ye shall know these things, and ye shall see that which Christopher shall bring forth, which is the lost part of the manuscript of Joseph. And ye shall compare the two translations, and ye shall see that they are nearly word for word in their construction and in their meaning, except for the weakness of writing that each of these latter-day prophets shall have during the process of their own translation through the Urim and Thummim. And now, what say ye of these things? Ye shall see that they are the same words. Therefore ye know that Christopher shall take his translation from the same plates from which Joseph shall take his translation. But ye are wicked men who have been misled and deceived by Satan. Therefore ye shall not bring forth the manuscript at that day, but shall cause it to be destroyed, because of the verification that it can make of the truthfulness and correctness of the translation of these plates given by Christopher. Woe unto you, ye wicked men! Behold, ye shall have proof of the truthfulness of these things before you, yet ye shall continue to deny these things, and take it upon yourselves to continue to corrupt the work of God and mislead the people. And there shall be others in the latter days who shall make an attempt to invent the contents of this portion of my record that is sealed, and Satan shall come unto them and deceive them as an angel of light, and give unto them Urim and Thummim, that they shall believe, shall have the power to know the contents of these things. But how can ye who have been deceived think that ye can translate something that ye do not have? For ye do not have the plates of gold that my Father and I have prepared for these things. And without the plates that we have prepared, what is it that ye think ye are translating with your Urim and Thummim? And ye who have done these things shall also be condemned by the Lord for your deception and your weakness in allowing Satan to deceive you and give you his revelations, so that he might mislead you and bind you with his chains that shall lead to the destruction of your souls. And I say unto all of you in the latter days, there shall not be but 2 latter-day prophets who shall be given the power and the authority to bring forth these things unto the world. The first shall be called Joseph after his father, and he shall only give unto you that which is required of him by the Lord. And the second shall be Christopher, a bearer of Christ, who shall give unto you the translation of the sealed portion of this record. And he shall also give unto you only those things which the Lord shall command him. And there shall be no other from whom shall come forth anything that pertaineth to this record, except these prophets of whom I make mention upon these plates. And in the latter days Christopher shall be born into this great church of which I have spoken, and he shall be raised up and given the experiences that are necessary for him to accomplish those things which the Lord shall require of him. And he shall be persecuted and reviled by those of his own household, and rejected by those of his church. And Satan shall make every effort to tempt him and steer him in a course of life that shall take him away from the great mission that he shall perform for the people of the earth in the latter days. For he shall have all the attributes of the great men of the church, even in his intelligence that shall be far greater than many upon the earth. And Satan shall give unto him many opportunities, and shall tempt him to follow his plan of happiness and become his servant, and receive the blessings that come from following his plan. And he shall receive much tribulation and sorrow because of the wickedness of the people of the earth, and also by the misuse of his own free agency, which he shall use to shrink from the calling that he shall receive from the Lord. Nevertheless, in the end, even at the time that the Lord hath appointed that these things shall come forth to the world, Christopher shall be taken from the refining fire from which he hath been cast and prepared, and he shall be ready and not afraid, and he shall do all things that he is commanded pertaining to this work. And the Lord shall bless him with righteousness and wisdom, and much knowledge of those things that are necessary for the children of men to know, for their happiness and their salvation in the latter days. Nevertheless, he shall be as harmless as a dove, and shall love all men, and seek for the good of his neighbour, never harming another as they would harm him, even as he shall be harmed by them. And he shall hide among the Gentiles, that he might not be discovered and made known to the world until the own due time of the Lord. And when he shall make himself known, there shall be many who are wicked, who shall hate him and persecute him, and lay a snare for him, that they might show unto the world that he cannot be a prophet of God. But his testimony shall stand in that which he shall translate from these plates, even the words that I am writing unto you at this time. And there shall be no man who can deny the power of the things which he shall bring forth unto the world, that have been sealed up by the command of my Father. And he shall testify unto all those who seek him out, and are desirous of his testimony. And he shall turn many to the words of Christ, and to the happiness that cometh from following the plan of the Father. And that great church which calleth itself the only true and living church of God upon the earth shall be discovered by the people in the day that these things shall come forth. And the leaders of this church shall be old and uneasy men, who are kept alive by the blessings of Satan, and who have not the power of God within them. And when the people of the latter days shall receive these things, then shall they discover their great wickedness, and the many things that Satan hath caused to come forth among them. Nevertheless, only the elect shall hear the voice of the Father, which shall be given unto them by the whisperings of the Holy Spirit, which shall testify unto them of the truthfulness of these things, and also of the wickedness of the world which is under the power of Satan. And many shall reject these things, because these words shall testify that their riches and the desires of their hearts are evil, and that the great nation to which they have given their lives and their devotion is the seat of Satan, which perpetuateth his plan, and bringeth all the earth under his power. And now I have explained unto you that a desire for the fine things of the world and the pleasure of these things are a way in which ye might tell if ye are following the plan of Lucifer or not. And ye shall know that your nation and its people are following the plan of Lucifer because of their desires of these things. But behold, there is another sure way in which ye might know for a surety that a nation and its people are following the plan of Lucifer. For ye shall behold that the nation of the United States shall raise up a standard to the whole world, which shall invite all the world to be like unto them if the world is willing to do the things that they do. And it shall proclaim that all people shall have the opportunity to become rich and have the fine things of the world by following its plan, which consisteth of its government and its laws. And now this is the other way, that ye might know that this nation is following the plan of Lucifer, because it shall promise unto the people that which it cannot give unto them. And if any nation among you hath those who are poor, and have not the means to feed themselves properly, and clothe themselves properly, and who do not have a place where they might rest, that they might call a home, yea, if any nation among you denieth its citizens the necessities of life, then you may know of a surety that it followeth the plan of Lucifer. For the plan of the Father would not allow such things. For behold, this is the greatest sin of all, even that ye do not love one another as ye would have others love you. And if ye did not have food to eat, or clothes to wear, or a place to lay your head at night, would ye not want to be given the opportunity according to your abilities to have these things? And now this is where Lucifer made his greatest error of judgment, when he considered the plan that he would offer unto us as an alternative plan than that of the Father. For he did not take into account that we are all different in our own desires of happiness, and that to some of us, working according to the way in which we are required to work to obtain the fine things of the world, or even to support our own lives, is not that which bringeth happiness unto us. But Lucifer sought to require these things from all of us. Yea, it was his desire to force us to live according to the principles and the commandments of the celestial kingdom, so that we could all have that glory and partake of the exceeding power and glory of a God. And if we did not want to follow his plan and become a God as he wanted for us all, then he thought that we should not be, or that we should not be allowed to inherit any kingdom of glory where we would be blessed for something that we did not deserve or that we did not earn. And he established his plan to compensate a man for his knowledge and his willingness to abide by the principles of his plan, which were given that each man might get power and glory and have all the riches of the world. And this plan is contrary to the plan of the Father, which alloweth the full effect of our free agency and rewardeth us according to our desires of happiness, we having been created by him for this end. And I have already explained unto you in this record the way that the Father expecteth us to be. Behold, he doth not care if we are desirous all the days of our lives to be beggars, and sit at the gate of the rich, begging for the crumbs that might fall from their tables. Yea, he doth not care if our happiness is gained by having all things provided for us, without our putting forth a concerted effort to obtain these things. Behold, the Father hath caused that some of our brothers and sisters come down upon this earth, and give unto us an example of these types of his children, which he loveth, and have already proven themselves worthy of his kingdom and the glory that they have chosen for themselves to bring them happiness. And many of these spirits shall come into mortality in the flesh, and shall not have the capability to seek after the things of the world, nor care for themselves. And in the beginning they shall be like unto the rest of the children of men. But their bodies shall grow into their spirits, instead of their spirits growing into their bodies. And they shall have an appearance that is similar in the physical nature of their bodies of flesh, indicating that they have been blessed by the Father as an example to show unto us the purpose of his plan for our eternal happiness. And these shall not be able to exist upon the earth without their wants and their needs being provided for by others, and they shall be those upon whom Satan shall have no effect, for he cannot tempt them. And now these are they which are the true children of God, and are following his plan in all things. And now I ask of you in the latter days, do these suffer unhappiness, except it be the unhappiness that ye cause them because of your mistreatment of them? Yet even when ye mistreat them, do they judge you or mistreat you and cause misery to come upon you? Behold, these do not suffer unhappiness, but are blessed by the Father and given unto us as an example of the purity of the souls of those who would enter into his kingdom. And ye who follow the plan of Lucifer shall look upon these as incompetents and retarded in their progression, they not having the capacity or the ability to desire the things of the earth as ye do. For they shall be satisfied with the food that ye give unto them, and they shall not concern themselves with the clothes that they wear, but only if ye teach them these things shall it matter unto them. And they shall not understand the significance of money, for it shall make no sense unto them, they being pure souls, unable to be tempted in this way by Satan. And now this is the way that ye might know that ye are following the plan of Lucifer. For if ye find your happiness in seeking for the things of the world, and when ye find these things, the joy that accompanieth these things is only temporary, after which ye are forced to search for more of these things which provideth for you this temporary joy. And if ye need to use other means to relieve you of your misery, which is caused because of the temporary joy that hath ended, then ye shall know of a surety that ye follow the plan of Lucifer. And if ye have any among you that ye do not feed and clothe and house, and ye judgeth them because they do not desire the things of the world as ye do, then ye shall also know that ye are the children of Satan and follow his plan.